The public test branch for Path of Titans has updated. Straight after we got the Night Stalker update, we are now getting so much more content in the game that's coming, as well as a whole dev blog which actually features a lot of the content that's in this update. So I'm going to be talking about these new content drops and a bit about the dev blog that isn't in this update itself. So yeah, let's just dive right into it because there is so much to talk about. We're mainly going to be in game, so strap yourselves in. We're going into the facecam mode and we're going to check things out ourselves. Let's get it. We're actually going to start things off not in the facecam mode because I want to talk about the implementation of area of effect attacks. This is something where you do a stomp attack and it doesn't directly hit your enemy to harm them. It actually harms them if they're in the surrounding area, and it's something that I want to check out in game. This is something that applies to the stomp attacks for Albertoceratops and Margosaurus, Eotriceratops, but it also is affected on the tail slam for Anodontosaurus as well, which is pretty interesting. I wonder if the Barsboldia tail slam will do the same thing. We'll have to wait and see there, but yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see that in game. Stamina has been reworked in the game as well. This essentially means that the developers have adjusted stamina values for every creature across the board, but certain dinosaurs drain their stamina faster depending on their playstyle, attacks, running speed, and regeneration rates. This change also ensures that those who apply venom do it at a more effective rate and have a better time at doing so as well. This also ties into the adjustments to venom, bleed, and bone break, which there's been some changes there. Previously, the weight of a dinosaur played a big role in determining these factors when it came to inflicting damage, whether that's through bleed, venom, or bone break onto a dinosaur. This has been adjusted now to be more consistent across all creatures, meaning that creatures that can afflict these status effects will do so at a better rate and can tackle larger foes better as well, which is really nice to see. But I do feel like we now have to go into game and check out all of these stuff because, well, there's a lot to talk about here, and we're just going to hop into the attack stuff straight away. So let's actually start off with Lambeosaurus. Firstly, I do want to point out Resilient Scales' image has changed. Look at that. That's a brand new image for Resilient Scales now. It's more orange, which is pretty nice. And also the Heal Calls ability icon for Lambeosaurus and others that have this ability has also changed as well. I like it. You can actually tell that it is a healing call now with the plus, and you don't need the text there, the silly little text, but yeah, it seems more positive. That being said, Lambeosaurus has gotten two things for its front limb. It got balanced, where it gains 15% improved turning speed, and it's got a kick attack. So let's actually showcase and apply this little kick. So this is the Lambeo kick. That's really interesting. It just kicks its front legs forward. There's no sound on it just yet, but yeah, that's interesting. Oh, there's a bit of clipping there, the way it kind of clips in, but Lambeosaurus now has a kick attack. Let's move on to the next dinosaur, shall we? So we're now on Concavenator. What's interesting about this one is Scabbing Blood now has a brand new ability icon as well, which looks really, really nice. But there's a brand new attack. This is the Ripping Kick, which is a lunge forward that deals medium bleed damage. Now, we can't properly showcase this one because we don't have a test dummy with us. However, we can showcase the animation of it, and that exactly is what we're going to do. And if I do get any footage of it where it's in game, I'll pan to that one once I've showcased this. But this is the Ripping Kick. How cool is that? Let's see if we can get mid-kick. Yes, we did. Look at that. That's pretty gnarly, if I must say so myself. That's really cool to see. Really nice little kick there. There's a little texture issue there with the water textures. But yeah, if I do get it in game, we'll go and check it out right now. That's a really cool little feature. So it does bleed damage and further emphasizes that this is a bleeding dinosaur. I'm just hovering over the next dinosaur, which is Allosaurus. It only gets a small change and it's not a new ability. The base damage on its claw attack has been reduced, so that's gotten a little bit of a nerf, But that's that to do with Allosaurus. So let's move to the next dinosaur. The next dinosaur is Amargasaurus, and it actually got some updates with it. Firstly, the Amargasaurus stomp attack now has a cooldown increase to 5 seconds, but there's good reason, because this dinosaur now has an area of effect attack radius. Let's showcase it on the stomp attack. That's the wrong one. And you can see it with that little shockwave there, which once again looks really interesting. Let's see if we can catch it in the picture mode so I can showcase it proper. Yeah, look at that. So as you can see, there's a little shockwave here that goes out and around, and it comes out, and it looks like that signifies the furthest ring here. You can kind of see it very faintly is where the furthest like radius of this attack is. You could probably see it in the shadow better there, but yeah, that probably seems like where the furthest radius of the attack is. By the way, I do want to point out, look at the color tint on this part of the map and the updated sand textures as well. Yeah, they're updating the whole biomes of Gondwar. It's going to feel crisp. It's going to feel new. I'm going to talk about that in a second as well. But we're focusing on the dinosaurs right now. I do also want to point out the mini-maps. Fog of War is back, and I'm very annoyed by that. You absolute evil people. Why did you do that to me? With Barsboldia, only one thing has really changed. They've removed the headbutt knockback effect, but they've increased the damage on the headbutt attack, and that's everything to do with Barsboldia. So Kentrosaurus gets a bunch of brand new ability changes. Tail swing, of course, I've already talked about. Tail attack has yet to change. Balanced tail, universal for every single dinosaur, has a brand new ability icon, and it looks really nice. It's like a dinosaur balancing some stones on its tail. Really nice change there. Really nice ability. Death Rattle has also got a change as well in its ability icon. It looks really nice. It's really nicely worked. I really love these UI changes, and it's just so nice overall. And of course, finally, Kentrosaurus gets the Lone Survivor ability attributed to its sensors, which is plus 10% armor increase and increased maneuverability when you're not in a group. This has been added to a couple dinosaurs in this patch as well. I do want to point out additionally that the Vault ability for Kentrosaurus, the one that gives it its jump boost, has been disabled as well, which is a shame. But that's Kentrosaurus. Basically, for Eotriceratops, they have reduced balanced legs turning speed to 15%, and that's on the balanced legs ability. I'm not sure what it was previously, but now it's 15%, and so it's got a nerf. Alioramus sees some changes to its ambusher ability. It's gone from doing 2 times damage to 1.5 times damage. Additionally, they've increased the damage on Alioramus's bite attack, and they've reduced the leap for Alioramus to reduce fall damage by 20%, which is sad because I actually quite like that high fall damage for this dinosaur, but of course, one can dream. Some things for Philosodrames players to like here. Reduced Philosodrames bite attack cooldown to 1 second, so he can peck at people a lot faster. And they've improved Philosodrames' bite hit registration. So even though you're biting faster, your hits are more likely to land as well. Once again, great things for Philosodrames players. With Suchomimus, they've improved Suchomimus' bite damage window, which means technically they've kinda increased the state of where damage can be dealt, but they've lowered the base damage of the claw attack, which I think is quite a shame as well. But of course, this is just balancing. Okay, we're in another part of the map on Path of Titans. I'm just about to showcase the Latin of Venetrix, but we're in Stego Mountain and it's no longer orange. But oh my god, the dust particles, everything. This looks so nice. Anyways, Latin of Venetrix, I digress. It's got a new ability and it's called Hiss, and this is a funny looking icon. I really like it, but it reduces incoming damage by 65% for 20 seconds on Latin of Venetrix, which is crazy. You can tell when someone does it because it's the attack call. Just don't get them mixed up, because now you won't know if they're doing an attack call or applying this ability for 20 seconds, and then it's got a cooldown of 5 minutes, which is insane. Camptosaurus sees the addition of the Lone Survivor ability, which is a 10% armor increase and increased maneuverability when you're not in your group, which once again is pretty nice for this dinosaur. Tyrannosaurus, I'm not going to go ahead and go into it, but the balanced ability that a lot of dinosaurs are getting for their legs and their tails is coming to Tyrannosaurus Rex as well. Additionally, they've increased Tyrannosaurus's tail attack damage. Now, bear in mind, Tyrannosaurus's tail attack does not deal knockback, but it has increased damage instead, which is interesting to say the least. But that's that. Hello, I'm still on Rex, and now we're actually on the dinosaur itself playing as it, but there is basically a brand new ability for this dinosaur. Firstly, obviously you got strong legs. I think that icon will change in the future, but there is a brand new ability, and that's called Deep Rumble. It's basically a call that decreases incoming damage by 20% for 30 seconds, which is quite big. So let's showcase it really quickly, yeah. That's a weird one. The animation is different to the call, but once you do that, you get your 30 seconds with a 4-minute cooldown or 3-minute and 50-second, something like that, cooldown on this attack. 30 seconds of 20% reduced incoming damage, which is a nice buff for this dinosaur. Really does count with the fact that they did nerf it recently. Maybe they nerfed it with anticipation of this ability coming to the dinosaur. Let me know your thoughts. So for Styracosaurus, balanced has gained 15% increased turning speed, which is cool. Obviously, resilient scales icon change. The charge attacks icon has changed as well. And additionally, these are the changes to Styracosaurus 2. Added Styracosaurus balanced ability. Styracosaurus's frill now causes bleed damage. Here it is on the screen now. Essentially, when someone bites you on your frill, it deals a little bit of bleed damage. This is much like attacking Kentrosaurus's spikes. It causes a little bit of damage. They've reduced Styracosaurus's headbutt bleed amount, increased Styracosaurus run speed slightly, and reduced balanced legs turning speed to 15%. And that is those changes there. Struthiomimus is the dinosaur that gets the lone survivor ability, much like a lot of the dinosaurs that are getting this sense as well. I think a lot of dinosaurs in the game will be getting this ability just to allow people to play solo and help them in that sense. Albertoceratops also gets some love as well. Essentially, they've reduced balanced legs turning speed to 15% and they've disabled the vault ability. However, additionally, the Stomp ability has been updated to be an area of effect ability as well. And here it is. This is the area of effect for Albertoceratops right here. And there you go. Look at that smash right there. That's so cool. Oh my god. Bosh. That is, I love that. I love the area of effect combat updates that are coming to the game. It's just really nice. It makes combat so much nicer. But I do want to point out the huge amount of stamina drain when you do a stomp attack. And I assume this is for a lot of the dinosaurs with an area of effect attack. Look at that. That is a lot of stamina drain right there. So do bear that in mind. That is insane though. Look at that. That showcases a big area of effect there as well. Right, now let's talk about Sarcosuchus really quickly. These are the changes that this one has gotten. A big mega croc. Sarcosuchus now requires 4 slots in a group. Increased Sarcosuchus charged bite cooldowns to 5 seconds. Lowered bleed amounts of ripping bite. Sarcosuchus can now bite immediately after using the crushing bite, which is insane. That is going to be very OP. And they've reduced the ambusher ability for Sarcosuchus from doing 2 times damage to 1.5 times damage, which is a big change as well. Ceratosaurus also gets some love. They've increased Ceratosaurus's charged bite cooldown to 5 seconds and reduce leap for Ceratosaurus to reduce fall damage by 20%. Pachycephalosaurus also gets some changes. Firstly, its headbutt icon has now changed color, interestingly enough, and also its charge icon has changed color as well, but there's something else that's joining it in its legs category, and I don't realistically think people are going to be using it that much. It might have a novelty, but people will always use the charge. It's a kick attack, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, leap has been moved from the legs category to the back limb category. So now you can actually use the leap ability, and the icon for it has changed as well, which is really cool. Okay, so this is the Pachycephalosaurus kick. which is pretty cool. It kind of is like a kangaroo kick, or I can't remember the creatures that do a kick like that, but it is pretty cool, and I really like it a ton. I hope Camptosaurus gets a kick like this in the future as well, but yeah, Pachycephalosaurus has a kick attack now, which looks really cool. I like it a ton, and yeah, let me know your thoughts about that one. Megalania also has some small changes. They've removed incoming damage increase for Megalania's toxic immunity hide, which is good. I thought that was a bad decision anyways. And they've reduced leap for Megalania to reduce fall damage by 20%. It looks like everything that had leap has seen it being massively reduced across the board, which is a shame. Additionally, Iguanodon has gotten a back kick attack. This is the only ability that Iguanodon has gotten, so let's showcase that right now. Here it is. That is actually really nice. That's a solid and smooth kick attack as well. It reminds me of, I think it's Styracosaurus that has a back kick. One of the Ceratopsians have a back kick. It really does remind me of that. That's nice to see for Iguanodon. So now Iguanodon has a new attack. A couple dinosaurs have some brand new attacks, and yeah, it's really cool to note. So Anodontosaurus is the next one to get some love. I was going to show my Anodontosaurus, but my camera has glitched for some reason. Anyway, so firstly, the tail slime now has area of effect ranges, but there's also some other stuff. So they've reduced the Anodontosaurus bone break amounts and decreased the tail slime damage amount as well. Also, for the fortify ability, I think it's in legs, yeah, it now takes 10 seconds for it to activate instead of 5, which is interesting once again there. And Anodontosaurus now uses 4 group slots when it is an adult. Of course, let's showcase this area of effect really quickly. Let's see it. Bang. Oh, that's so cool. I love it so much. Look. Bang. It's so cool. I love that so much. So, Metriacanthosaurus only has one thing, and that is that its jumping animations have been improved. Now, I don't know what the old jumping animation for Metri is, but this is the new one. When we're walking, and when we're running. Bang. So yeah, that's an interesting one right there for Metriacanthosaurus. That's the only update that it's got on this brand. And finally, I do want to bring up Stegosaurus as well, because Stegosaurus does actually get one change, and that I believe is to do with the solar powered ability not applying the correct stamina regeneration and not displaying the icon when active. Now it will display its icon, and now it will do the right stamina regeneration as well, which is all nice and dandy. Okay, regarding dinosaurs, there's actually one other thing I failed to mention, and that is Kaiwekia has seen some updates to its abilities icons as well, which kind of gives a hint towards an upcoming playable that could be coming to the game in the future. Now, of course, I'm going to keep this very quick and brief. However, of course, we do look over here, and I'm just going to screenshot these for you all to have a look so I can zoom in on them and analyze them a little bit here. But of course, Strong Flippers has updated Resilient Scales and Beachcomber, which looks great. But one more has updated as well, and that is the Lunge. And of course, that is not a Kaiwekia. That is an indication of what is to come in the future for Path of Titans, Urinosaurus. Because of course that is the only official ichthyosaur that could be coming to the game. This could mainly give a hint on what it could look like, but really I'm not too sure. It's just a generic look for a ichthyosaur, and I don't know if it'll look exactly like that. I don't think there's many icons that look exactly like the dinosaur that's going to be in the game. So yeah, that's just a little Easter egg right there of an upcoming dinosaur or playable creature. It's not a dinosaur, it's an aquatic reptile. So yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to point out. And obviously, they're on the dinosaur anyways already. But let me know your thoughts about that. Speaking of new gameplay features, we actually have something in the game now which is quite interesting. And it's essentially a random color generator. Well, it's not really a random color generator, but we've got this pattern right here. And we're going to press the randomized icon right there, the little dice. And let's see what it does. Yeah, there you go. It just randomly assorts colors, which is basically sorting out the patterns, I believe. Well, it doesn't actually tell you which one gets changed, obviously, in the pattern itself. But yeah, there's so much variety of the different, like, skins, which is crazy. Like, if we go to a different skin and... oh, some new sound effects there. If we go to a different skin and then do it again... it's so crazy. I didn't even know there was that much variety to the different skins in the game, even with the backer skin like that. Like this, I didn't know you could do with the backer skin. Turns out you can. But yeah, that's just a nice little feature in the game now, being able to randomly set your colors, and it doesn't change your patterns, but if you wanted to change the patterns, you could do that yourself. It's a very nice one. I like this touch. Overall, a great addition to the game. I think it just helps people make skins. I think I definitely will be using it, and I think it's a nice quality of life update for the game itself. Let me know your thoughts. Circling back to the combat stuff here, there is some stuff that I did not mention that aren't in the game at the moment. Essentially, as we've seen, the developers are going over and adding a whole load of variety of new combat and abilities for each dinosaur. Their aim is to essentially make every dinosaur stand out and carve its own niche. Here's some other abilities that are coming to the game in the future, but are not currently in the game at the moment. Firstly, for Metriacanthosaurus, it's got the Toxic Scream, or will be getting that, which increases outgoing venom damage for 10 seconds, which is interesting. Venom damage. You're going to be damaged now when venomated? That's going to be interesting. Deinonychus Slicer. A bite that rips an edible meat chunk from a target, which is also, you're essentially going to meat chunk a dinosaur to death, which I find absolutely hilarious, but also quite worrying because a swarm of them would decimate anything. But those are all the abilities that I left out that are not in the game at the moment. The other ones include Eotriceratops Stampede and Kentrosaurus Lone Survivor that are currently in the game at the moment. It looks like the replay mode might be coming sooner than we think as well, with a brand new replay mode UI also being teased in this dev blog, which showcases a lot of other stuff that could be in it, like exposure, rendering, depth of field, camera settings and aberration settings being featured there. Very excited for this one. The developers did talk about this nicely, and it seems like it's going to be good because they mentioned that server owners and moderators of servers will be able to analyze people's replays and kind of get what's happening and see if anything is rule break or not, which is going to be exciting. And once again, people will be able to make their own movies similar to that of the trailers for the game, because I'm pretty sure they're made with the replay mode as well. Very exciting, and I'm very excited for this. So yeah, that's the replay mode coming soon, hopefully. This one is probably the one I'm most excited for alongside the replay mode. They have announced that they're revamping their music system in the game, and they're implementing the first pass of a new music system, which is Path of Titan's own official original audio or soundtrack for the game. This is what the developers had to say in the dev blog. The music of Path of Titans has been designed to be atmospheric and environmental, and won't overpower important gameplay sounds like dinosaur calls or footsteps. Points of interest in the world have unique music, making each area feel even more distinct. We have selected specific instruments and themes to play depending on the biome type you are in. For example, areas along the beach have cheerful steel drums and maracas, whereas deep in the desert you'll find wind instruments and rattles. The music also changes dynamically based on the time of day. Daytime music is often uplifting and playful, whereas nighttime music is more on edge and ominous. Additionally, they also mentioned that there will be combat music as well, so when you go into combat, there'll be combat music alongside that, which is really, really cool. I love the idea of that. It's really nice to note, and yeah, it's super exciting stuff. And it's awesome to see that Path of Titans is getting its own original soundtrack, and it's going to be featured along the game itself while you're playing it. Very exciting. Now, some map updates as well that I want to mention, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and make a little trailer like I do normally with showcasing the biome updates and stuff like that. But essentially, Pandora and Gondwar have gotten the love. According to the devlog, both of the maps will feature more realistic textures, and Gondwar in particular It's getting some new biomes and biome reworks. One of the new biomes is a brand new birch forest biome. In game, they updated areas to have brighter color, tinting, and environmental effects to help them stand out as well. It looks incredible. I've seen this in game. I'll showcase some video clips of it, but it's so nice. You can see that each biome is different now. The whole area changes, the air changes, the colors change, the ground tinting changes. It's so cool, and I can't wait to show you guys. So let's just go ahead and showcase it. But firstly, the mini-map for Gondwar has updated as well. Look at it. It's so nice. It looks absolutely fantastic. Sand caverns is there. All the biome reworks are detailed out. Yes, there's so much there now. And, well, let's now showcase this cinematic look once again.